A tropical storm Eloise, eNCA Silindelo Masikane is at the Punda Maria in the Kruger National Park, tracking the storm's trail, and she joins us live. What is it that you have found, Slee?
Good morning, Jane. Yes, so we are here in Punda Maria in the Kruger National Park. In fact, it was our last stop in terms of us crisscrossing the Limpopo province just to see exactly how severe the destruction was following that tropical cyclone, which was obviously downgraded to a tropical storm once it hit South Africa. And the devastation is just so bad. So many families, so many communities affected by the heavy downflows that resulted in a number of floods, bridges being washed away, communities now basically being trapped within their areas because they cannot get access to roads that have been damaged. On the R81 in particular, when we were making our way here in Limpopo, there was a sinkhole as a result of the damage of the floods as well as a pipe burst. We know in Mpumalanga, a man went missing. There have been a number of fatalities in Mpumalanga as well as KwaZulu-Natal. People whose homes have been destroyed and have been left destitute. We know that disaster management services are still remaining on high alert, despite the fact that we are not seeing as much rain as we did over the past couple of days. We know that the South African Weather Services says that for the most part the heavy downpours have subsided, and that the tropical storm has now made its way to Botswana. But it's also expected to make its way back to South Africa. Jane, we know that once it makes its way back, we're going to see provinces like the Northern Cape, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, Northwest, as well as the Free State possibly being affected. But at this stage, what we also know is that officials are still assessing the extent of the damage, and just to see just how much relief still needs to be provided. We know that communities are in need of food parcels, shelter, as well as necessities in order to just get by the next couple of days. However, a national state of disaster was not proclaimed, because it does seem as though the provinces that were affected were able to manage the situation. But at this stage, Jane, the situation does remain under control, and we will be making our way, in fact, into some of the areas in the environment. Like you said, that I am in the Kruger National Park. I'm just going to ask for Jake to just show you a little bit of what we've been experiencing here. I know that a lot of what we've been speaking about in terms of the cyclone and the tropical storm has been the damage, the destruction and the death, but the tropical storm has actually brought a lot of heavy rains into parks and areas like the Kruger National Park, which have been most welcome. In fact, you can see it's very green. Speaking to just some of the officials earlier on, they were saying to me that, the dams are full. The animals are definitely, seemingly quite excited for this renewal that has been brought in terms of the rains that have come down here in Limpopo. So a little later on, I'll be taking our viewers to just some of those dams and those areas that have been positively affected by the tropical storm.
And there you are, the Kruger National Park. Lucky you. Just tell us a little bit more about the impact this has had on communities and what sort of help they're getting, where they're getting the help from.
Well, municipalities, in particular, when I speak about Limpopo, I'll be speaking to the Vembe as well as the Mopane districts. Those were the most hit in terms of floods and areas being underwater, homes being destroyed, bridges being washed away, as well as some damage to the roads. So those particular municipalities are now tasked with going into these areas, assessing the damage. They couldn't over the past couple of days because of the levels of the water, just to see how many communities have been affected, where they need to send out food parcels as well as necessities, just to provide some relief. Thankfully, in Limpopo in particular, Jane, there have not been any fatalities, but of course in Mpumalanga and KZN there have been. But those assessments are going to be taking place as of today and the next couple of days. days, and it's up to municipalities to ensure that communities will be able to now access services as well as try and rebuild the bridges and the roads as soon as possible.
All right, tell us when you find out more. Slee, thanks.